Pig in a Blanket, a delivery pig's cold day. Solomon Hogg, but everyone calls him Solly, was a very important pig. He worked for Flap-On TM, the best delivery service in town. Solly took his job very seriously. This is the story of the day Solly had to battle a terrible cold. It was a day filled with sneezes, mix-ups, and a whole lot of determination. Get ready for a snorty adventure. It all started with a delivery to the penguin family. They lived way up north, where it was always chilly. Solly didn't mind the cold usually, but today was different. First, he got caught in a freezing rainstorm on his way to their igloo. Then the penguins, bless their feathery hearts, had their air conditioning cranked up to the max. Brr. To top it all off, Mrs. Penguin offered Solly a popsicle. It was made of frozen herring. Solly, being polite, ate the whole thing. The next morning, Solly woke up feeling terrible. His snout was stuffy, his throat was scratchy, and he felt like he had 100 tiny hammers banging inside his head. Oh dear, he groaned. His sisters, Penelope and Priscilla, fussed over him. "You need to rest, Solly," they squealed. Mum agreed. "Stay in bed, dear. You're as pale as a radish." But Solly wouldn't hear of it. "I can't," he wheezed. "Flap-On Tea is short-staffed today. I can't let them down." Solly was determined to not let a little cold get in the way of his deliveries. He was a Flap-On Tea pig, and Flap-On Tea pigs always delivered. He put on his uniform and headed to work. "Morning, Branston. Morning, Rivington," Solly croaked as he entered the Flap-On TM office. Branston, a wise old tortoise, looked at him with concern. "Good heavens, Solly, your voice sounds like a rusty gate," Branston exclaimed. Solly just shrugged and tried to smile, but it came out more like a grimace. Just then, Webster Pelican, Solly's boss, and also his uncle, called him into his office. Webster was a kind but firm pelican, and he always had Solly's best interests at heart. "Solly, my boy, you look dreadful," Webster said, peering at him over his spectacles. "Are you sure you're up to working today?" "I'm fine, Uncle Webster," Solly insisted, though his voice cracked mid-sentence. Just a little sniffle. Webster sighed. "You know, Solly, being sick can cause brain fog. It can lead to mistakes." He paused for dramatic effect. "I once knew a canary who went to work with a cold," Webster continued. "He got so confused, he ended up delivering packages to Norway instead of Northwood. Poor thing was lost for weeks." Webster leaned forward. "Take the day off, Solly. We can manage. Your health is more important than any delivery." Solly was about to agree when he overheard two starlings gossiping nearby. "Look at Hogg," one chirped. "He thinks he can work with a cold? Pathetic." "Birds are much better suited for this job anyway," the other starling snickered. "We have wings. He just has a snout." Solly's ears perked up. He couldn't let those starlings think he was weak. He puffed out his chest, despite the sniffles. "I'm perfectly fine to work," he declared to Webster. Webster sighed again, but he knew when Solly had made up his mind. "All right, Solly," he said, "but be careful, and if you start feeling worse, come straight back here." Solly's first deliveries were a bit complicated. He had to deliver mongos, couscous, and mangoes. Easy enough, right? Wrong. The mongos were for Matt Mongoose, who lived down by the river. The couscous was for the monkey family, who lived high up in the trees. And the mangoes were for Gertrude Goose, who lived on Farmer Giles's pond. But Solly's cold was making his brain feel like a bowl of mush. He kept getting the deliveries mixed up. He gave the couscous to Gertrude Goose. Gertrude Goose looked at the couscous with a puzzled expression. "Couscous? I ordered mangoes. What am I supposed to do with this?" she honked. Then Solly gave the mangoes to Matt Mongoose. Matt Mongoose wrinkled his nose. "Mangoes. I wanted mongos. "These are far too sweet," he grumbled. Finally, Solly gave the mongos to the monkey family. The monkeys chattered in confusion. "Mongos, we ordered couscous. We can't make our famous monkey stew with these." Solly suddenly realized his mistake. "Oh dear, I've mixed everything up," he exclaimed. He quickly retraced his route, apologizing profusely to everyone. He swapped the couscous for the mangoes with Gertrude Goose. He swapped the mangoes for the mongos with Matt Mongoose. And he swapped the mongos for the couscous with the monkey family. Everyone was happy to finally receive the correct order, but Solly was exhausted. His snout was running like a leaky faucet, and his head felt like it was filled with cotton. Solly had one last delivery to make. This one was to Trevor Badger, who was known throughout the town as well, let's just say he was very particular about germs. Branston, seeing how terrible Solly looked, took pity on him. He rummaged through a drawer and pulled out a face mask and a pair of gloves. "Here, Solly," he said. "You'll need these for Mr. Badger." Solly gratefully accepted the mask and gloves. He put them on and headed towards Trevor Badger's burrow. As he walked, he felt a sneeze building up inside him. Achoo! Solly sneezed so hard, he almost fell into a construction pit. Luckily, a crane operator saw him and quickly swung the crane over, scooping him up just in time. Solly thanked the crane operator profusely and finally made it to Trevor Badger's burrow. He knocked on the door, and a small, muffled voice answered. "Package." Solly held out the package. It was a bar of soap. "Here you go, Mr. Badger," Solly said, his voice muffled by the mask. "Wait," Trevor Badger squeaked. "Is that soap clean?" Solly blinked. "Well, I assume so?" "Assume," Trevor Badger shrieked. "I can't just assume. You need to clean it, right now." He handed Solly a small bottle of disinfectant and a cloth. Solly sighed. He was so tired, but he knew he had to do it. He carefully sprayed the soap with disinfectant and began to wipe it down. He struggled to hold back another sneeze. He squeezed his eyes shut, trying to concentrate on the task at hand. He was almost finished. Just one more wipe. Achoo! Solly sneezed right as he finished cleaning the soap. The force of the sneeze sent the soap flying into Trevor Badger's face. Trevor Badger shrieked and slammed the door. Solly knew he had messed up big time. He trudged back to the Flap-On TM office, feeling defeated. Webster Pelican took one look at him and shook his head. "Go home, Solly," he said gently. "You need to rest." Solly didn't argue. He went home, crawled into bed, and fell asleep instantly. The next day, Solly woke up feeling much better. He was still a little sniffly, but the brain fog was gone. He was surprised to find a mountain of get-well gifts piled up outside his door. There were flowers, honey, and even a jar of pickled beets, which was Solly's favorite. The whole community had heard about his cold and wanted to wish him well. And who was tasked with delivering all those gifts? The starlings. They grumbled and complained the whole time, but they delivered every single gift with a smile. Solly learned a valuable lesson that day. Sometimes the best thing you can do is take care of yourself. And sometimes even the smallest pig can make a big difference, even if it means taking a day off.